So, welcome to a very unique Mastermix in conversation with. Today I have got three dons of disco with me. Michael Gray, welcome.
Hello, Paul.
Yeah. Pete Freq, welcome.
Hi, Paul.
And Greg, Dr. Packer.
How are you doing?
All good, thank you. In the middle of your tour as well?
At the end of it.
Towards the end of it, right, okay. Mike, fresh from Ibiza last week?
I don't know about the word fresh, but I'm definitely back from Ibiza. Yeah, jaded. But a good
recovery.
Ibiza, yeah.
And Pete, I think Pete heard a success recently.
Yes, that was right at the start of the summer, so I've been on a come down since then, pretty much.
Right, the studio, that, yeah.
Yes.
Well, great opportunity to put three disco dons together and have a chat about that particular genre and various other bits and bobs relating to the DJ and production world. So let's kick off with the first topic. Why disco, gentlemen, for you? Why is it an important thread running through your particular lives? Is it the elements, musically? Tell us what is so important about disco for you.
Well, for me, it was growing up in the house. Like, I originally is from Northampton, and my parents, my mother in particular, was a mad disco head. She would play, stuff on the Philly label, on Prelude Records. She's got 12 inches of Sharon Red, Never Gonna Give You Up, which you remixed. Yeah. She's got 12 inches of like McFadden and Whitehead, Ain't No Stopping Us Now. So they were played in the house when I was a kid. And I was sort of, obviously it was, it was in me, because when I was a drum and bass producer, there was a short-lived subgenre called disco drum and bass, which I jumped on straight away.
Okay.
And we were just sampling loops. It was mainly just sampling a disco loop and then building a drum and bass track around it. And it's sort of like when I'd made the transition in 2013 from D&B to disco and created Dr. Packer, it was a no-brainer, because I'd collected all the records, well, a lot of the records. I've got a big collection. And once I saw what was going on, main guy that inspired me was Late Night Tough Guy, and I'd seen what he was doing, and it inspired me, and then that was it. It's just, since 2013, it's been disco all the way for me.
So for you, Greg, it's mainly influences from family and peers and other influential people.
I mean, obviously, I was so drawn to the disco when it sort of snuck into drum and bass. I was like, oh, I know that. I mean, one particular tune was Roy Ayers, Running Away, and it was sped up so fast, like to 175 ppm, with a mad drum and bass beat behind it. And I was just like, is that Roy Ayers? And I'm going, whoa, hang on, what else can we do? Like, so we were looking at different tracks to loop up and sample. I think I did Lola Holloway's Love Sensation.
Right.
Of course. I mean, that was one of the biggest disco tracks of all time, and I thought, right, I'm going to do that. But it was just mad. At 175 BPM, it was mad. And I think it was probably why it was short-lived. I think it was just ridiculous. Right. It was like happy hardcore kind of, just sped up way too much.
So with yourself, it's all about the influences.
Yeah,
Pete, what is it for you?
I think it's joy. I think that's the key bit about disco for me. It's
the emotion.
Oh yeah, you never see somebody listening to disco without a smile on their face. It's
that's very true.
I think whenever disco's one of these weird things. I think it doesn't offend anyone because it's always positive. There's no negativity about disco. I mean, obviously there was the disco suck stuff, but that was more people not liking it rather than kind of.
Well, it's more of a backlash against pop disco.
Yeah, it was. It was
not
getting
the sort of stuff that we
go anywhere near.
It was rock radio trying to read.
Oh yeah, it was. That's what jealousy is what it was. Yeah. But I do think it's, for me, music, especially disco, is about joy. It's just if the world's horrific, and you've got that little glimmer of light, then. Yeah, that's what you that's the key to it all. And if it puts a smile on your face and makes you feel a little bit better, it's done its job.
So the emotional response to all that kind of music, but that would maybe lead me to turn to you, Mike, and say, is it the composite elements, the strings, the percussion, the bass, the groove, are those things that are part of your feeling of why disco is important to you?
Yeah, I love making obviously new disco records now. I love remixing the old classics as well. I was playing disco the first time in the late 70s, albeit under 16s every month. So and I remember the joy that it used to give me in the late 70s. And I just think it's like Pete was saying, it gives you so much joy for me to actually make and remix and produce, and then you watch the crowd just so euphoric. I love the fact that, you know, most of these records, these disco records, are very minor to major sort of records. They're not minor and dark and what have you, moody. They're uplifting, but
they're a journey, aren't they?
Yeah, they're a journey.
There's never any melancholy in it, is it? It's always like,
but well, there is in parts, but it's more the fact that I wouldn't. I would never cross the line, and none of us would, obviously, in playing cheesy disco. Some people think, oh, disco, yeah, I love it. Oh, yeah, I love a bit of ABBA. It's not the same as what we play generally and make, and where it's cool, but it's uplifting. And
that's the word I would use. It's got such a good uplifting vibe.
Yeah.
You know, and I came through house and you know, a lot of that early 90s piano stuff, which was mega uplifting, and I think that's what drew me to disco again, because a lot of the chord progressions in it are really uplifting, and you can see that on the dance floor, and as Pete was saying, with the smiling faces.
I think there's the actual core elements. I mean, and you guys were just chatting about disco strings on the way up, weren't you? There were some great new vibes on, you know,
it's always good.
There's the emotion.
There's a reason why you say pulls on the heartstrings.
Well, you've used actual
I love recording them.
Mike.
I mean, I love recording them. A 4-piece string section, track 3 times, and you get a good arranger and coupled with the ideas you have, and sitting there just watching them record it is hairs on the back of your neck straight away, and that's without you even playing it out. So there is something about strings on disco records that you don't get on any other format.
I think it's the combination of the strings, and then you get the bass groove or the guitar bass. How the bass and the drums lock in, and almost those strings float over the top. It's the combination of those things. It's like something for your feet, something for your heart, something for your head.
I think you guys might find this interesting, actually, just to recall a story from my past. When I was working for a record label in the late 90s, I was sent over to the US to find Michael Zager. And met up with Michael Zager, did Let's All Chant, obviously, and he still worked from the same loft apartment that he recorded Let's All Chant in. And the way that used to be recorded was they had a service elevator, and it would take maybe 2 to 3 hours to get the entire band, orchestra, singers, percussion players, musicians all up and there, and they would be recorded literally in one take from top to bottom with room dividers. Brilliant. So there could be some elements of that kind of unification of sounds seeping into other, you know, where you would cross bleed from one into the other. That could be another part of the whole disco thing. Possibly.
Yeah, sure.
So there was a resurgence of disco. I mean, disco was very much kind of backburnered, ignored for quite some time, but around 2000, well, I'm actually not going to say when I feel it was, because the question for you guys as DJs and producers as well is, when do you feel the disco resurgence actually happened, and what were the indicators? I'll come to you straight away with that one, Mike.
Oh, it's interesting. Well, mine brings in Greg, obviously. So I went into Defected, spoke to Simon Dunmore, and he was telling me, this was probably about 2016, I'm just guessing here, and he said, oh, you want to check out this guy? I see you as Glitterbox, not Defected. That's when I was doing the Full Intention stuff with John, and then he played me your Last Night a DJ Saved My Life and everything, like your remix, and I was like, oh yeah, this is really good. And then that's what locked me back in, because I was quite lost in what I wanted. I've always loved disco, because obviously I had Hustlers Convention with John back in the 90s, and we used to remix and re-edit things and all sorts. But I think it's that, and for me, that and the Glitterbox brand, seeing what people like Greg was doing, and obviously Dave Lee. And I thought I found my home again. This is fantastic.
But brought you back in.
Yeah, totally. And you know, before that, it's like, oh, you've got to have deep house. You can't go, you can't go too happy on these chords. You've got to, and then you realise, hang on, now I've got an outlet for it.
See, I think there was something, because I was playing sort of mid 2000s. I was playing sort of Jack in House, so there was a lot of the disco samples, but quite often it was really short cuts. So it might have been like a bar or 2 bars, and just looped. And almost like the early Defected stuff. So like Soul Searcher was a massive record for me back in sort of '99 when I started DJing. And it's like there was almost a reaction after that for about 5-6 years, and it started going kind of.
We went to electro.
It was electro, and that's never really been my happy place.
No.
And I think so. I had like sort of late 2000, so 2007, 2008. So I moved to Lincoln, and there was a lot of sort of sound system guys there. So that Midland kind of sound, Inland Nights were massive. And they were all basically playing cut up disco records.
I used to love their stuff.
But their drums over the top of it had this shuffle that was just phenomenal.
No, it was really good.
So that's when I started properly making tunes again. And then by about 2010, it'd gone almost like too deep and dark, and I think it had lost it lost the kind of funk out of it in a way. And then sort of 2012. So I started getting some of your stuff. The Reflex started appearing, and my gigs changed. So I went from doing sort of the house gigs. I was doing a lot of open format stuff, and then I kind of came out of that, and it was like my mate offered me this funk, soul, and disco gig, and I was like, well, okay, I've got to get some stuff for this. And he gave me a list of a few tracks, like stuff by yourself, early bits of yours, Late Night Tough Guy, Reflex, and it was like, hang on a minute. I can use the stuff that I used to do, but it's not like 126 BPM anymore. I can like put it back to the tempo it was at.
Sensible tempo.
Just not like, okay, that's just Pinky and Perky. That they don't need to do that. But it was almost like, oh, hang on a minute, I've got this. I found the soul again. And at that time, with the deep stuff I was making, it just wasn't firing up any of my kind of synapses. It was like. Just a bit cold.
Wasn't floating your boat.
Also, I think it's bringing the tempo down. I started all my early stuff 2017 or whatever it was. I brought the tempo down to 116, 117, 118.
Really?
And suddenly the track would groove a lot better. You could get much better bass lines.
So much more space in it.
Loads
play
more
around
space,
with things.
And that was a game changer. So so we both still do. I know. That those sort of tempos as well as the 122s.
Because at that tempo you've got space to add percussion and put that swing element in it. Sometimes a 116 BPM track can feel better than a 125.
And I think something I've been really learning about recently is putting the track at a speed where it gives DJs headroom to if they want to run it at 121. They can, and it's not going to sound like it's been sped up way too fast. It's like put it in that pocket where there's. Well, I can back it off a little bit and play it early doors, or I can push it on a bit harder and play it.
Yeah, gotcha. So Greg, for you then, when did this? I mean, obviously you've been integral in the previous two conversations from this question.
Yeah, for me,
what was it for you?
I had a terrible year in 2012. I won't go into the details, but I had two family members came down with cancer, and I took a year out of DJing. I was pretty much at the end of my whole drum and bass thing. Right. The good news was they're both still alive now, in remission, everything's fine, and I needed to sort of make a decision. I was either going to retire. I was about 42 at the time. I thought, well, maybe back then I thought 42 might be a bit old to be DJing. And here I am still doing it at 53. But yeah, it just sort of came at the right time because I needed something. And as previously mentioned, someone put me onto Late Night Tough Guy, said, listen to what this guy's doing. And I went on his SoundCloud and I was just clicking tune after tune after tune. And he'd remixed one of my all-time favourite tracks, which is Lover's Holiday by Change. Yeah. Absolutely. It's in my top 10 of all time. And he did a magnificent mix of that. He just looped the intro for about for ages, like 2.5 minutes before the vocals start, and just got this mad, like almost hypnotic groove going with it, massive big kick drum. I was like, this is incredible. And then I was like, I actually liked it how it was. And then the verses started. And I went, whoa, he's gone the full hog. He's literally done the whole track as well. And I mean, the whole track I think was about 8 minutes long in total. And that was a game changer for me. And I just went, whoa, I've got it. And it was like you were saying before, it felt like my calling. It felt like suddenly it made sense. That was my path. I needed to pursue this.
Personal perspectives, which is great. I mean, the other thing to add to that, I think, as well, is in a way the pandemic did a hell of a lot for the disco and disco edit scene, didn't it? It almost took what was vibrant and buzzing and just amplified the heck out of it.
I think a lot of people wanted to hear vocals because they couldn't go to a club and hear just instrumentals.
They were looking for that joy.
They wanted joy. But it's also the fact is, normally, all the tracky sort of stuff, the housey tracky stuff, wasn't really selling because no one was buying it. DJs weren't buying it because they couldn't go into a club. And then you had a lot of people then going to Spotify, places like that, wanting more vocals. And of course, for the sort of stuff that we do, it's perfect because people wanted uplifting vocals.
Like going back to the pandemic when we started streaming, I sort of had my go-to DJs, producers and stuff. Your Dave Lees, your Dimitris, whatever, the late night tough guy, Greg Wilson. There's loads, list as long as your arm. And then I think the first stream you did in 2020 for Glitterbox, and you played your Optimistic, you played your Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, and so on and so forth. That's when I went, this guy's on my radar now. This guy's killing it. This guy is killing it. And I was just and I think from 2020 onwards, I think you just went from strength to strength. And I do think that pandemic, when everyone was streaming, Glitterbox and whatnot, it definitely did something. And then when the borders opened, the clubs opened, it was everyone was just so keen to get back into it, and disco was just it was firing.
The right thing for it, wasn't it?
I think the other element was that because all the producers were on lockdown, everybody was back in the studio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I think I was doing about one a day.
It's just
genuinely.
Pete was probably doing 6 a day.
Well, it was like teach the kids in the morning, right? Get on the laptop in the afternoon. That was it. It was like, right, get cracked on.
All right, gentlemen. So I'm going to come straight to Pete on this one. Where can disco go from here, Pete? Musically, I think there needs to be more original songs. Genuinely, I think the problem we have is that we're now 5-6 years into it in terms of its resurgence, and I think what's happening is there's too many people doing the same stuff, and I'm as guilty of it as other people. Something I'm learning at the moment is actually to be able to write original stuff. I've never really written original songs before, and to me that's a massive challenge, but it's exciting as well. And I think it's got to go. There's got to be more original stuff, because I think the everything at the moment is geared towards like these really short, hooky, your TikTok, your Instagram. It's that like, it's almost like, where's the space for a proper song? And I think there is now, I genuinely believe there is now a reaction against those shorter and shorter and shorter songs. Yeah, we'll come to that in soon as a point, but I think that's a natural segue straight into you, Mike, now doing your second album, which is it's all original. Yeah, all original. So do you echo what Pete's saying? Yeah, absolutely. I think there needs to be more out there. The problem is everyone's going to turn around and go, well, we haven't all got money like you to go and have live strings, pay for live strings. It costs money. It does cost. And the first step, people writing songs, but also you're taking it to a production for that disco thing. But I mean, you can get plugins that will do a really good strings as well, obviously, if you can pay. But I had to put my hand in my pocket, and I was panicking. I had a very late sort of a very
bad night's sleep thinking, oh my God, I've just paid $8,000 or whatever it was, 10 grand.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, luckily. But yeah, I think you have to speculate to accumulate. Sometimes we have to do those things, and if you get yourself a good arranger, string arranger, you know, to work over the chords you've done and the drums and everything and the song, he can take that to an absolutely another level. But it's just having the guts to go, all right, I'm going to pay that. I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
it's not just the investment in paying for, should we say, real musicians as well. But the other thing is building up one's own publishing, writing, registering tracks, collaborating, logging your a possible future pension. So it's about doing that as well. So
totally.
Craig,
that's where it gets kind of difficult for me, being based in Australia most of the year, because I can't do what Michael does. I can't go down, catch a train into London and record strings or get, I mean, how many vocalists can you put your hands on that's worked on your albums that you get round your studio and you record them live in the studio? I mean,
we've got a solution for you.
Yeah, so
we've all got a solution.
I mean, literally, so yesterday I was playing around with what is basically Zoom for recording studios.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's early days yet because of technical issues, but genuinely, I think it could be a game changer, especially for someone like you. And being able to go to hook up with somebody and go, right, okay, can you just re-sing that, and it goes straight into your into Logic or Cubase or whatever, and be able to record it is a complete game changer. And suddenly, I mean, like for me, I mean, the track I was working on yesterday, I've got a live bassist on it for the first time, and that's okay. And that for me is a massive deal, and partly because I'm an ex-failed bassist anyway. Because it was like, I'd love to be able to play that. It's like, I'm nowhere near that good. But it's that whole thing of just opening it and being accessible. And I think,
that sounds interesting. Yeah, but I mean, don't get me wrong. I have been working on tracks that have been original disco tracks, like I mean, my track that got released today by Vladimir Chetkar, I mean, that's an original song. I mean, he's like like a Macedonian sort of jazz, funk, disco fusion sort of artist. And
how did you collaborate and work on that together then?
Online, of course, like over the internet, and like lots of back and forth and stuff. I mean, usually when I've got a keyboard guy that I work with in Sydney as well, Yogi, who I did Heavy Vibes with.
Oh, is that Yogi Houghton?
From Random Soul.
Yeah, I know those guys. So I had them on my label back in 20.
Yeah, so with him, we because he's a Pro Tools user, so am I as well, and we jump on the split screen. We do the split screen thing. So he's literally doing it live while I'm okaying it and saying, "Oh, try this or try that," and we nut it out together.
Kind of what Muse does.
Yeah. So I have got a bit of experience with that, but I normally just pull it. I'll get him in if I'm doing a cover. And obviously I can't use the sample when I'm thinking he's a gun on the keys, so I'm like, can you just redo this or replay this, and I'll sort of guide him. But and then I might say to him, look, why don't we inject some new flavour and do like a riff that's not in the original, so people can listen to it and go, hang on, that was never in the original, or do like maybe a different solo or something, change some notes around. So we can bounce ideas back and forth on a split screen, like in real time. So I have got a bit of experience with that, but it would be great to do that with a famous vocalist.
Well, as I said, we'll hook you with that software, but I think the takeaway from this is exactly where you've been and where you are now, and where Pete's starting to work in, and that is actual. So where can disco go from here? Well, remixers and producers, writing, making original. There's a thirst and a need for this. That's what you're identifying, isn't it?
And I think that it's all it's great having those tracks that have been played for sort of 40 years, but actually having that original that you go, you know what, this is a new song that I've done.
The best thing of all is when you write something or co-write a song, and then you play it out and you watch all the girls and the guys, but the girls mainly, sing the chorus back to you. It's just the best feeling in the world.
Well, I noticed in Bournemouth when you played Invincible. See, to me, like now that's now a classic.
Yeah.
You know, whereas
thank you, Craig.
when it came out, it was an original, and I'm sure like people were like, oh, we don't know this one.
I think
it's
the
not.
Holiday one's the next one.
It's not an edit. It's not a And I think once a couple of years passes, and it's been played that many times,
it
and
enters into the canon, doesn't it? And they just know it.
It's not a brand new fresh tune, but let's chuck it on, and it's like, oh, and then it's a classic. Now it's become a classic. So I think that's the good thing about originals. You need those years. You know, you need to go like several years ahead.
You see what's going to happen
before it becomes a classic.
In 20 odd years' time, Mike will be a grumpy old man in his
I'll be an old man, but I won't be grumpy. I promise.
He'll be sat there going, "Are you not sampling my record?"
Full of joy.
Full of joy. I don't want you having any joy. Okay, so let's move on to another subject. So very relevant to today's producer world is innate creativity, learning and exploration versus fast track, instant gratification, drag and drop ubiquity. In other words, art versus mass production. What's your take on the situation at the moment? You know, as in how easy it is for people to make music and call themselves a producer or an artist. I was going to take the first one on that.
See, as Mr. Mass Production of edits at 95 miles an hour.
No, I'm not talking about speed, Pete. I'm talking about
as in terms of the amount.
No, I'm talking about really the sort of non-desire to learn music, to understand it, to learn one's craft, to just take that instant hit.
I think so. I've kind of heard of people basically going to ChatGPT and going, make me a disco track that sounds like this, and it comes back. And it's got no soul, no funk in it. Yeah. Because it's the thing about AI to me is it's only as good as what's put in it. It's the input that's put into it. So if you put someone, make me a track that sounds like Mike or Greg or myself, it's kind of a facsimile. It's like it's a cardboard cutout at best. It's not going to have the little touches or the changes that are made that make the stuff that we do ours.
Well, it's always going to sound like someone else. So the whole point of being a producer is for you to be your own identity. So when people hear your records, they go, "Oh, that's a such and such record." You know, even looking back over the years, you know if it's a Shep Pettibone mix, you know if it's a Jelly Bean record, but this would just make it sound like, oh, it just sounds like the whole like we work to try and have. I would never go out and go, oh, I'll try and make a record like Greg's or Pete's. So you just do your thing. But when I have tried to do that in the past, it falls flat, and that's what AI is basically doing in a way. So what's the point? You might as well just start from scratch and not try and cheat.
I think this really naturally segues into one of my other questions quite well. Is I think we've touched on it here. Is the scared of, as you said, adding a verse or something. It's almost like, well, we need to get this in and out very quickly. So it segues in a lovely way into the shorter sets, shorter tracks, the attention span. You know, are you guys feeling the pressure to conform to this, shorten your productions, and you know, so the studio element and the live DJing element, this kind of shorter attention span? I mean, yes, there are shorter DJ sets. I know, Mike, you're trying to get longer DJ sets as well. Yeah. How are you feeling about this shortening of everything?
I think it probably affects me less than these guys, because you guys obviously you've just been on a tour around and you've been travelling all over the shop and kind of Ibiza and everything. So but as sort of, I mean, I started out as a bar DJ. That's where my happy place is. So I'm quite happy playing a 7-minute mix of stuff, and I've never had a problem with people asking for those shorter things. But then I'm not as, my DJing turn of terms, I'm not as high up as you guys, I'd say, because when I make an edit, I'll make something for then, and that's how it is. Whereas for you guys, you've got songs that are known and expected, so that's a different kind of completely different kettle of fish, really.
I mean, I mean, as I said before, I came from drum and bass, and that was very much, that genre is like 2 to 3 minute tracks, double drops. It's all about the energy, cranking as many tunes as possible. It
always has been.
It's always been like that. Right. And what I liked when I made the switch to Dr. Packer was I could finally stand there and play tunes and let them breathe. Yeah. But I do find, like, I've been doing Dr. Packer now for 12 years, I do find that I have been under pressure the last couple of years to shorten my tracks, which I actually make shorter edits of my own tracks purely for DJ sets.
Right.
But there are, I mean, you do get the wins as well. If you're playing to like a pure older crowd that know your tunes, know exactly what you're playing, and you've got your option, you've got your little 4-minute edit, or you've got the full length of the track, which might be 7 minutes or something. If you think, hang on a minute, I can get away with playing the 7-minute version here, this is a proper crowd, and then I'll do it.
Of course.
But if I'm playing to a younger crowd who's got, shorter attention spans, and you're watching the dance floor, and they're sort of, it's thinning and then it's growing and it's thinning, and you sort of think, oh, I've got to turn these over a bit quicker, then I'll be going to the 4-minute edit.
I'd echo that as well. The other thing I was just going to also add is that sometimes you get booked for an hour and a half set, and people expect you to play a lot of your own records, and you have to edit some of those down in order to get them all in. So to about 4.5 minutes. I wouldn't do anything like 2.5, but some, if they're a new record I've just finished and I know it's quite a big tune, or whether it's mine or someone else's, I will play the 6.5 minute version or whatever, because but generally you're right, we have to sometimes Greg and I, we played back to back in Bournemouth a couple of weeks ago, and we both had the same kind of thing. We have two versions, so when you go scroll down, you've got the original that we would have made, or someone else has made, then we've got our own edited version. And also sometimes I'll buy records from other people and they've put no drums at the beginning to mix in, and no drums at the end, so I have to go and make my own little version.
I never understand that.
I don't get it.
Make stuff that's easy to mix, and then more people will play it.
Exactly.
On the subject of the mix as well, you talk about this 4.5 minute thing, Mike. I think we chatted about this earlier. Is how much of that is the intro drums these days and the outro now?
Very little now, because back in the day, when we were playing vinyl, obviously a lot of people still play vinyl, but with vinyl you do need, I used to find, you need 16 bars of drums to get it, so you know it's perfectly in time before you bring it in. But now you only need 8 bars, if not 4 bars. 8 bars I usually do of drums before it comes in, and we don't need normally that much of a build up. Some records work with a good build up, and some don't need it.
Yeah, because a drum loop, a vanilla drum loop with no bass or whatever, can be just looped in the CDJ or what software. Or
DJs
whatever.
Can do it themselves.
Yeah,
they've got technology. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So DJs and crowds in 10 years' time. Live, online, the tech, the environments. I mean, let's just look at the state of play at the moment. The trend over the past few years is that everybody faces the DJ, front and forward. It's cameras, it's front facing. The kind of anonymity of the DJ has sort of gone completely. They are the main attraction as well as whatever else is happening. But in 10 years' time, in the live environment, as in clubs, venues, outdoors, and we'll discuss online in a second, what do you think is going to be happening? Where's it going to go from here, Mike?
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't know if I could answer that too much. I don't think I could. No.
It changes so fast, doesn't it? The trend?
Yeah, it does. It's as long as we've got younger DJs coming in and doing their thing and producing everything like that, it will be fine. We still need to make sure there's more producers coming in on board and DJs and stuff, and spreading that disco word and what have you. I think we're going to go into a much more soulful period as well. I think it's going to be a lot more soul records. Yeah, right. Because I think a lot of some of the places I'm playing, they're under 25s, and they love all the soulful stuff and the vocal. We write it off as if they'll just want tech house. That's not the case anymore. We've got a lot of ones that actually want to hear songs and disco, and it's a great feeling. And it doesn't all have to be 130 beats per minute. They're quite happily rock to 120, or if not slower. A lot of them also know the soul classics because their parents, like we were talking, proper soulful records.
Right.
It just made me laugh though when you said that, because I remember Greg said to me once, you said, if they've got their back to you, it means they don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Well, and that's that's when you do get that.
When I made the transition from drum and bass to disco again, of course they're all facing you with drum and bass, and if they want the rewind, you've got to do it. They'll let you know, and it's like rewind like that. And then the first couple of sort of disco gigs I was doing on tour, people sort of had their backs to me. I was sort of playing to the backs of their heads, and I was thinking, God, this is weird. You know, and even some people, when I'd post some footage or some pictures from the gig and that, some of my old drum and bass friends would leave comments going, how come they've got their backs turned to you? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a house thing. I don't know. But yeah, we sort of came to the conclusion it's like they didn't know who you were. Once you sort of started getting a fan base, building a fan base, and they were buying tickets to come and see you, of course they're like facing you and they're, you know, hands in the air and all that kind of stuff, and that's just something that grew over time. But yeah, it is a bit.
Paul and I remember in the 80s when we were DJing together, you know, it was quite normal for some people to have their back to you, some people to be, it was very different because we were playing soul, soul and funk, and
right?
Well, they were just dancing in groups
round the handbag and all that.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
When I was doing sort of mobile discos in the mid 90s, so it's kind of we used to see like the groups of people, and it in a way the DJ wasn't the focus, and I think I genuinely think it's going to go back to that. Is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I think there could be a bit of that. I don't know about backstage. I still want them to face in front personally. I like if I can see people's eyes and their faces and the smiling or whatever. You know that you're doing the right thing. It gives you a good reaction.
Preferably without the phones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the number of places that are opening up now that have a very strict no phone policy.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And I think that is actually a good thing. It's like, well, if you got your phone up, you're kind of not living in the moment. You're not. You're looking at the moment through a lens. You're not looking at it and just enjoying it.
Also, I like Pikes in Ibiza because they put a sticker over when you go in. They put a sticker over your camera. I know you could do it the other side, but no one does. Everybody actually goes to those rules.
Cool,
I mean, I think if you put a board up and said when people are coming in, no phones, I think majority of people would respect that.
Well, I mean, I'm going to see Gorillaz next week, and they've even got you have to put your phone in a bag, and you're not allowed to get it out throughout the whole gig.
Interesting.
Okay.
So I think it's got a lot of, it's kind of going through the whole industry is this. Actually enjoy the moment while you're there, rather than going, well, is it about the video that I'm taking of the moment that I should be enjoying? And I think that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, I was going to say I played in a place in Madrid a couple of months ago, and again it was a very young crowd. None of them had their phones out though. It's very easy to say, oh, the kids always get the phone out. They didn't, and it was only Mel, who was with me, who does my girlfriend who's doing the video, and a lot of them say, "Could we have the footage? Can we tag you on Instagram to get the footage?" So they still got it, but it was interesting because they didn't need the phone and they totally let their hair down.
That was more polite and respectful.
So is that? It could just be a society thing because I mean, I don't know.
There's no sign. They just didn't have the
do
phones.
it.
They're just all.
So we talked about where's the music going and where the DJ, the DJ's relationship with the crowd. What about the tech, Greg? The technology that DJs use now, and we've had stem separation, live stem now.
Yeah. Do like layer acapellas now, can't you? Just strip it straight out. I mean, I haven't ventured down that path myself, but obviously I've come a long way from the vinyl days. With the whole CDJ, being able, like you were saying before, being able to loop your intros and loop your outros, or if you're halfway through a track and it's not working, you can sort of like loop the drum break and bring your next track in quicker.
All been there.
All that kind of stuff. I see it as amazing tools to work with. I mean, I know some can obviously take it further with the sync buttons, and I mean, I don't personally go down that path because I sort of come from the old generation. I prefer to do it all live.
Me too.
And I think some DJs cop a bit of crap for using sync buttons, but
I mean, I think that sync does have its place. I think if you're playing for 7 hours, then there's a place for it. But I think if you're doing an hour and a half, 2, well, actually, you should be doing it live.
I mean,
sure. I just think it's. I mean, I've saying that. I mean, I've had sync not work for me and start speeding things up, and that could have been resulted to a beer spilt. I
mean, those
controller though.
The CDJ 3000s now do the key syncing as well, so they'll actually key match the next track. I mean, sometimes it sounds a bit weird.
Doesn't it just if it's green, it's good to go. That's my general rule.
But that's what I mean. Like, it will highlight the next, when you're looking at your next track to bring in, everything lit up is compatible with what you're playing, so you can sort of key match everything now, which, I mean, that was unheard of back in the days.
Yeah.
You used to have to do all that by ear. So I say, I mean, I'm all for the latest and greatest technology, of course, but I think as long as you're staying true to the art and using it for the right reasons and not cheating, I think it's fine. Yeah.
I mean, look at the ABBA thing, for example, where they have kind of almost holographic avatars on stage, and it's incredible technology there. In 10 years' time, would a physical human being DJ still be there, or could it be a light show? I mean, every person around this table makes their own music.
Yeah,
it's a different breed. There are a lot of DJs who basically play other people's music, and that's the majority. So they are taking somebody else's music and presenting it in a manner to an audience in bigger venues and bigger festivals. Sometimes that's accompanied by an incredible light show that's more often than not time code synced to every nuance of every single track. In 10 years' time, will a physical DJ actually be there?
I certainly like to think so.
Yes, it will. It will. Because
the thing is, it comes back to the soul thing.
Yes.
As in, I'm not talking about like soul music. I'm talking about
but feeding off the crowd,
the humanity, and the reaction, and being able to go, that's not working. This needs to tweak.
Exactly.
And it's that.
We've all walked out, and we've started with our tracks because you might be a different country, different city, and then you think, oh, they're not quite going for this, so then you can change. But if you've got that set piece of set and you can't deviate from it because it's synced to the light show or whatever, or an avatar or something, I don't know, you can't, and then you have to read the crowd. It is about reading the crowd.
But I think it's also, there's kind of different venues for that, and I'm not talking about like venues different places, but for example, I warmed up for Jo Wiley at the Scarborough Spa last year, and actually some of her set wasn't necessarily it as far as the crowd were aware, it was a show that it was kind of built in blocks, and there's nothing wrong with that for what it was. But like me and the other Walmart DJ, we just went on the fly and just did what we do. But for actually the punters don't necessarily understand what we do, so for them they saw the light show and had a great evening, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think it depends on how pure you are in terms of what kind of event it is, if that makes sense.
I think Mike touched on it beautifully there, is that it's a human being that can look, observe, empathetically connect and make a decision about what to play next and how to play it and how to present it. And we were only speaking in the corridor earlier, Greg, about you adjusting your set to see what was happening in the crowd, and you felt it needed to go somewhere else, so you did it. No avatar, computer or anything could actually ever do that.
I mean, I definitely can't. It's all about that reaction. I think it was just in that case, I can see why it was done. I think that's it. I think if it's completely programmed within inch of its life.
It's also, if you go to see an artist, hypothetically, I don't know, like Daft Punk, I remember seeing them. It was absolutely amazing. But everybody wants to hear all the Daft Punk records. They don't care what order, they just want to hear it. So that's different. That can be pretty much laid out in order. That's different. I'm not saying it was, but that's different. But yes, generally, as a normal DJ going out and DJing, you've got to feel the crowd.
It's the foot taps and the head nods and the okay, if you like that.
And also, sometimes you're DJing, and we've talked about this, you can go left or right. You're at a certain thing and you can go left. Shall I just do this curveball? I could either make the crowd go crazy if it works, or it was going to go flat. And it's that gamble, isn't it? And that's the fun for me as well.
Well, hopefully that's a thread that can continue. And I think with the passion and energy that's around this table, if there's anything to go by, I think it will. So that's a good thing. What about the live streaming environment? Let's have a chat about that briefly as well, because that obviously is tech related. But both you, Mike, and you, Pete, as well. I'm not too sure whether you're actually doing it at the moment, Greg.
I'm not much of a streamer.
No,
I think I've done about 2 in my life.
Let's focus with Mike and Pete for the moment on this question. Where do you see the future of DJs live streaming? Do you think it's something that's going to be even more popular? Because obviously through the COVID lockdown it was very popular, but it seems to have almost gained it's gone from a sort of a necessity novelty into heck, this is actually super important right now. Mike, I'll kick off with you on that.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I think it's a great way as well for younger DJs to start getting out there and going on live streams. Obviously, with the LFG
TV, yeah,
that's going to be interesting this Saturday for the launch. And they want young streamers on, as well as other people like myself and Pete. They want all sorts of people, and I think it's a great way to learn your craft, especially if you're a new DJ as well, and build up your following. If it wasn't for me going on Twitch, I wouldn't have had quite my initial following. Afterwards, I'd started going to different clubs, and suddenly people would come up to me and go, "Yeah, I saw you at and it was really interesting. It was a great way of getting a good following without actually having to work down your local bar or something and for 7 hours or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you've built up a family, a community, haven't you?
Yeah, it seems to, and I didn't obviously plan to do that. I just thought I was a bit bored during lockdown. I want to play some records to people who might want to listen. And then obviously getting the microphone out for the first time was quite unusual. It's like, oh, I've got to talk, and you have to.
I've done this.
I used to. I put my microphone away in the 80s when I said, right, I'm only mixing now. I'm only mixing.
That's where I fall short. The chatting and
were you all right when you come on my show as a guest?
I don't talk. You just plonk me in the corner, and I'm
next time you're going to have to come on mine as well.
Just sit in the corner there, Greg.
I'll make you talk though.
We have a little chat.
We have a little chat. See, that's the start.
But yeah, I think it's that connection, and I think the hardest thing during lockdown was that sense of we're on our own. So everyone was reaching out for connections. Actually, we started kind of building that little kind of group, and before you know it, you kind of got to like I got to know you through kind of streaming. I got to know Chaz, who's my studio engineer. I've got to know like Mike. I've got to know better. It's kind of like it's that community and just being able to connect. And I mean, I have to admit, to start off with, I didn't use the mic much, but now it's just like actually what you quickly realise is it's that connection of they see a bit of you, and not like the DJ you, they see you in the way that you react, and your personality comes through, and whether it's like stupid conversations going on in the chat and just chipping comments in.
I love it.
Recognising people when they come in the chat room, like the guy I started off my first record label has just joined Twitch, and he's just kind of come in and it's like, all right, mate, how you doing? And what he didn't realise is that I gave everybody a big intro who it was before, as soon as he kind of followed me. So he comes in and everyone's like, you all right, how's it going? And he's like, how do you know who I am? But it's that whole thing of it's another one. It's the interactivity and actually being on the mic is part and parcel of that. I kind of see it as kind of an evolution of a radio show with that direct communication. And it means that people get to know you a bit. I mean, I know Mike, like when we go to Downtown Disco, it's like, oh yeah, I'm so and so handle on Twitch, and you're just like, okay, and quite often because it's quite loud in there, you're going, I can't hear a word of what you're saying. But it's that connection. It's that.
Yeah. Also, I think it's quite nice to see as well that a lot of people, single people, they wanted to go to the clubs or want to go to the clubs, but then they can start chatting to other people on this chat who are into the same music that you're playing. So you've got that connection. So it made it okay for them to all meet up. Single people can meet up with other people. It made it okay.
They had a shared interest.
And
there's an Irish guy. It's Speedy. He comes downtown. So he's in your chat. Quite often he's in my chat as well.
He comes over from Ireland on his own. A lot of them come on their own.
I had quite a lot of people come up to me at my first few gigs saying, "Are you going on Michael's Twitch show this year?" Because I generally do it every year. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I think we are. Close to my birthday.
Annual thing, isn't it?
But it was a common question this year and last year as well. People were sort of saying the same thing. So they look forward to it, which is great. Yeah.
So apart from the sort of, I mean, you're not streaming personally, but you do guest on Michael's. Do you concur with what the guys have just said about the elements of reaching out? And I think it's great it's a testing ground for your new productions, gents, as well.
I was about to say that. Yeah. Without a doubt. I look at the comments, and if the chat's going quite quickly, I think oh, I might have something here.
Yeah.
And if it's sort of slow, you think,
let's see what happens with this one.
But it's also a weird thing as well, and this is a producer thing, I think, that when you play a record to someone for the first time and it's just you and them, your ears become even more attuned to all the mistakes and everything. You become super critical. I don't know why. But then when you're playing it to 150 people in the online there, or 200 or whatever, you really start hearing all the mistakes that are there. They can't hear them, only you really hear them.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that hi-hat's too loud.
But then it's great. The following day, you go back into the studio and you just tweak everything you heard. And you're like, right, done.
It's a modern day version of listening to it in your car, I suppose.
It is.
Yeah.
But except you've got live feed. It's like a live promo feedback, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent.
I had the thing of where Chaz keeps going on, it's like, this is new. Please put comments in the chat. And you're like, no, can I just mix that in first, mate?
Please fill out this reaction form online. Here's the link.
Give a 5-star review.
Excellent. Well, gents, we've covered a lot of really in-depth questions. We've dug deep in a lot of interesting things regarding DJs, production, and where it all going and where it is and where it's come from. From the few of the Mastermix family, we've got some quick-fire questions. So if you could be kind enough to answer these in maybe 1 or 2 sentences, that would be fine. And I've got to go around the table. So first of all, Michael Gray, your favourite disco track of all time?
Oh. When I say, all right, it's actually Southern Freeze.
That'll do.
Which is kind of a soul funk.
That's all right.
But,
we'll keep it soul funk and boogie then.
Thank you.
So it's Southern
Freeze.
So Peter the Freak, disco soul funk and boogie track favourite.
Oh, good grief! We just think. Oh,
I did tell you this first earlier.
I know but in my head, I just have different things at different times that just hit. Now, actually, I'm going to go for something that's really new.
Okay, well, it's still all time.
Gabriel's "Remember Me."
Okay, fine. There's no problem with
it. Just because, actually, it's got a bit. When I was ill and I got better, it just encapsulated a lot of things. So it's got a bit of an emotional weight to it.
Well, that's good. Good answer, Greg Packer.
Yes.
Your favourite disco soul funk boogie track ever of all time?
I really like David Joseph, You Can't Hide Your Love.
Yeah, excellent choice.
I love the synth.
It's just there's just something in that track. It's simple.
Yeah.
His vocals. It's just an amazing song from 1983.
Both chose
little squiggle in it.
We've both chosen Brit Funk records.
Yeah.
Funny that.
I mean,
soul funk. And the Dr. Packer jazz funk album is available. Okay, Michael, favourite venue ever that you've played at, and why?
I think it's probably High in Ibiza. I think that probably the club room.
Judging by those recent videos, I'm not surprised you said that, actually.
Yes, I think it's got to be that. I think so. It is a hard one, though, because I've so many. Downtown disco is always in when it was
not
at She
to
Street.
offend anybody, but I know it's difficult to be put on the spot. But two of the best there. We'll let you have those. Pete LaFreak, favourite venue?
First time I played with Mike at Downtown. That's pretty good. Remember that, and actually playing at Beat Herder. When I'd play in a room of just my own stuff and it just going off and going, hang on a minute, something's going on here, just before the power cut out due to rain.
Right.
But I think so Downtown and Beat Herder.
Yeah, okay. Greg?
Well, you know what? I was going to agree with Michael and say High, and the club room as well.
Yeah, okay.
I've done it about 3 times and they were just, the experience was amazing.
Okay.
But I would say it would be on par with the main room of Ministry as well.
The box.
I've done like a couple of, I've only done it twice, but it was just incredible both times, and it would be on par. But since Michael said High, I'm going to go with Ministry.
Okay. Okay. Let's go for one. Will do. 2 would be great. Mike, which other DJ producers inspire you?
Oh, Dr. Packer. Yeah. There's loads.
See where this is going.
If we're talking from the old school.
Of all time.
People like Arthur Baker, John Morales, Shep Pettibone.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite an endless thing, but they really inspired me when I was 12, 13, 14. That's one of the reasons that really got me into, the music are making. Yeah.
Pete?
For me, this is Mike actually was a big deal when I was at 18, 19. I used to buy everything that you guys released as Full Intention. And I can remember there was a bit in You're the One for Me. I think, was it Prelude?
Yeah.
And I can still remember hairs in the back of my neck standing up. And when I remixed, I remixed the D Train, and I was like, I want that
bit
feeling in. And the other one is probably Dimitri. Dimitri, and Dave Lee's up there as well. It's the feels of it. It's got that organic kind of
I think that word, the feels, is the underlying bedded theme of everything we've talked about today.
Feels.
Greg.
Yeah, I mean, as in recent times, I would obviously my go-tos are Michael Gray and Dave Lee. But from the old school, I mean, the one guy that inspired me probably more than anything was Chad Jackson. I mean, he got me into DJing, the whole remix. I mean, he was the first person I heard like remix a track or put a mega mix together, and I was just so captivated by the whole remix thing or mega mix thing, and just hearing tunes being blended in general. And he was the first guy that I ever heard do that. So he's a huge influence on me. But yeah, in recent times, regarding what I'm doing now, production wise, other than playing my own edits, would be Michael and Dave for sure.
Got you.
Yeah.
Cool. Michael, what's on your rider?
That's easy. Bottle of vodka.
Yeah, there we go.
Coke Zero.
Yeah.
And tequila's just been added.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's a late entry.
I don't know why.
Makes you happy.
For the missus. Is that an external influence, perhaps?
Well, I'm thinking I'm drinking too much vodka, something like that. Maybe I just have a few tequila shots when I'm DJing instead.
Okay.
That was DJing with Mark Knight April, and I thought, where's his drinks? And then he was just handing me shot after shot, and I thought, actually, that's better. I don't spend all night going to the toilet after.
That's definitely.
You know, you get back to the hotel, and you're like, I need to get up again. It's because
Yeah.
Is there a Mel element in your rider now?
Of course, yeah. Well, she drinks the same as me. Lucky enough,
well,
yeah. There you go.
Pete, what's on your rider?
See, this is where it gets amusing. IPAs normally.
Yeah.
And the last one, wine gums.
Wine gums.
Love it.
Pack of wine gums. I was so sick. Do you think I can go for a sharing
particular
pack?
Brand? Other brands will be available.
Yeah. It's wine gums, or the other one is fruit gums. It's just something. It's weird. It's
to keep your mouth busy while you concentrating.
It's just.
Well, that's cheap.
What's on your rider?
Cheaper than some other things.
I don't do spirits.
Right.
Although
are you listening, Michael?
Mel did make me a cocktail the other day, which I drank.
That's fatal.
It was my birthday weekend. I drank but no, I'm just strictly a lager man. So I have like basically 6 lagers and 6 waters, because I'm usually travelling, obviously, and the next day I've got to travel back home or to another destination, so I mix it up with water. So I have like 6 waters and 6 beers.
Got you.
So
the water sensible.
The water sort of it stops the hangover. But like Michael said, but then you try to go to bed at night and you're forever up and down and
3 in the morning, straight up.
What Greg didn't mention is each of the 6 beers has to be in a gold flask.
Yes.
Just to be picky.
Carried by cherubs.
As a music lover, not as a DJ, nothing to do with DJing or dance music, what is the most memorable live concert you've ever been to, Mike?
Oh, that's a really good one. Actually, quite recently at Jazz Cafe, I believe it or not, I watched. There's 2. One was Central Line, I saw, and also the other one was The Real Thing.
The Real
Thing, and these guys absolutely tore it up. And I thought they've got to be in their early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, late 60s, baby. And they were so funky, because we always think of You To Me Are Everything and kind of soul-y sing-along, which they did, obviously. But they were really funky, really good. And I thought the energy was amazing. But anyway, there's loads more, but that's the 2 off the top of my head.
That's fine.
From this year.
Good answer. Pete?
Easy one. Jamiroquai, which I saw back in '97. I'm going to see in December as well.
You just stole my answer.
Yeah, they are good. That's true.
Yeah, all I say is I forced
Greg's
my feet into a pair of gazelles, Adidas gazelles, as a direct result of it. And Chic, I saw him back in July in York, and it was like me and my brother were like, oh, he's playing all. The whole set is like a DJ set, and they just know when they just drop it down with something a little bit more obscure. It's like they played Soup for One, and me and my brother looked at each other and went, Soup for One. He went, you know what's coming, don't you? And then they mixed it up into Mojo, and at which point the crowd suddenly went, oh, that's what he's done.
Yeah, I saw them do that at Roundhouse.
And it's so good live, it's. So Jamiroquai and Chic.
So we'll forget you, Greg. We've already got your answer. No, anything else apart from Jamiroquai?
Well, I'm trying to rack my brains for a plan B now, but no, I was going to say about 25 years ago they used to do these big festivals in Australia called Vibes on a Summer's Day, and Jamiroquai were always headlining those events, and they were always the main act, on at the best time, and I would say that obviously I was still in my drum and bass days as well, but that got me thinking, God, this music's great, I'd love to one day be doing something like this as well. They were a big inspiration, and seeing that live as well, but I can't really think of a plan B now.
Okay, well, we'll let you off. No problem at all. Just to fill in the gap, since Greg couldn't think of anything other than Jamiroquai. Come on, Greg, there must be something. Go on, keep.
Well, recently, recently I went as a punter to Saltasia in Northampton, which is my base where I'm staying. Yeah. A friend of mine gave me a free ticket, and Jocelyn Brown was on, Kenny Thomas was on, Loose Ends was on, Odyssey was on, Phil Fearon and Galaxy, and Loose Ends blew me away.
Yeah, really good.
Oh my gosh! I had tingles
proper happy
British band as well.
Just hearing like down tempo stuff, massive crowd all grooving to it. Like I was just like, oh my God, I was in heaven. And not only that, I hadn't actually listened to much Loose Ends music for years. So it was the first time I sort of listened to their music again, but then actually seeing them up on stage doing it live, it was incredible. I absolutely loved that. And I got to meet them afterwards, which was even more of a bonus.
I caught Loose Ends and SOS Band recently as well. See, the thing is, when you back your guess into a corner, they come out with about 7 different answers there. Well done. Well done, Greg.
Nice recovery.
Nice recovery.
Yeah, but that just happened recently, so
okay, well, I'm going to chip a couple in as well. For me, Sign of the Times tour, Prince.
So now you bring out the big guns.
Yeah, and Level 42 in Wembley in the late 80s. Running in the family period. Yeah, probably two of mine.
Is it true about Chuz being the person responsible for being Mark King's tape on his thumb?
Mark King, I don't know. I've got various Mark King stories, but not
but this apparently Chuz told me about this. It's like, I was like, I did that, and I was like,
did what?
So apparently Mark King had split his thumb from playing the bass so much.
Oh, when he played at our club,
and then he taped it up. So Chuz suggested taping it up, and then from then on, he's always had tape on his thumb.
Well, let's give Chuz that one then.
Yeah, I'll give him that one.
Yeah.
It's like claim to fame, Mark King's tape.
There are stories about the Mark King on that night, I can tell you, but I'm not going to tell you. Anyway, so now the question here is worst gig, but I'm going to rephrase this into sort of any particular gig where things just went horribly wrong, Mike.
I normally have those in my dreams.
Yeah,
I have had dreams.
Can't get the record on.
Yeah, exactly. It's running out. It's normally a vinyl. Yeah, when you used to play vinyl, and you're nervous about where you. First time I played at going to play at Ministry of Sound, and I remember just having this awful dream of just couldn't find the next record. I'm just slowly looking through my record box, knowing it's ending. Everybody's out there, and that I've had a few times over. But I've had a few bad gigs. I think we all have. That's part of the course, isn't it?
Yeah, that's necessarily, I'm talking maybe like a tech failure, or somebody spilled a drink, or something went wrong.
Nearly went wrong, but I wouldn't say it was. You laugh at it now, but when I played my Sultra event, which was it last February? I think it was.
It was early this year.
Yeah. I didn't realise, but the DJ console was on a riser, but it was on casters. And
People start moving it around.
this girl came up on the side and she started doing all this kind of, I don't know what you call it, voguing and swishing around. A young girl. And I thought, well, I'll let her carry on. She's having a great time and everybody's clapping and everything. And then all of a sudden, I'm watching all my decks suddenly swing to the right and the whole lot's about to go over. Oh my God, I never swore so much. It's like, anyway, I can't do it now, but and then pulling it back. Oh, poor girl. She felt so embarrassed.
Nobody
from
had
it.
locked the wheels or anything on this thing.
Didn't even know, and I didn't know it had wheels. That's why I wouldn't have let her hold.
Gosh.
So in 2 weeks' time, I'll make sure those are locked.
Absolutely, absolutely. Pete, any mishaps and disasters in your gigs?
Playing a tour in Jersey. This was about 20 years ago now, and I'd brought my decks over on the plane, which was pretty much a transit van with wings, and literally the first gig, getting my decks out, could not get the tone arms to balance at all, and I was just panicking because everything was just really light. You're going over doing everything, it's like it's running, and then you just can't get anything level, and it's like I mean, thankfully I managed to get it sorted after I managed to find a table that was actually level. That helped as well, but for a moment you're just going, this is not going well.
But did you fix it?
Yes, we got it fixed, and
How did you fix it? Was it not the old 10p on the top?
I was about to say that. We used to put 10 pence on.
I think it was
with blue tack or sellotape.
2p's on the head shells.
Yeah, that usually does it.
The only problem is when you have Autophon ones where it's like the finger needle,
no
and it's
chance.
like you are stuff trying to put
to Greg,
right.
any disasters?
I'm going to go with a booking that I had in the mines in Western Australia. It's
the mines?
Actually,
the
the
mine sites. Yeah, the mine sites.
Okay.
They booked entertainment in this on site.
Bring the house down.
Yeah,
on site, and I was DJing, and some real proper, when they Australian equivalent to a redneck was just booing me and shouting, "You're rubbish," and not going to swear. And it got that bad. It kept going and kept going. But I was being paid a ridiculous amount of money for this gig, and it was over a weekend. It was too good to say no to, but I knew it was probably going to be disastrous. Yeah. And this one guy got that drunk. He came up to the front of the console, pulled out his started peeing on the stage. And the security went and grabbed him, literally manhandled him out. And I got told the next morning, because we were all staying on site. We went and had breakfast the next morning, and the barmaid come up to me and goes, "Just so you know, that guy's been fired." he's lost his job over doing that.
You're right.
Yeah, he's lost his job.
He was one of the miners.
Yeah, he was one of the workers. Yeah.
Well, you know what they say.
That's all I was playing.
Out.
All I was playing to was the workers, basically. Wow. And they're only supposed to have 4 drinks, and then they get capped, so they don't get drunk. But some of them have sort of found a loophole, and they left the mine site and they go into the town. They drink all day, then they come back and have their 4 drinks.
Oh dear God!
So this guy was completely
smashed,
obliterated. He was just intoxicated like that, and obviously he was kept giving me the fingers, and your music's rubbish and all that. Obviously
he sounded a right loser.
You don't like anything I play. They just wanted rock. And and of course when it happened, all his mates was egging him on like that and clapping and everything. And I was literally just didn't know where to look. I was looking at the ground. I was kind of going, "This is the worst thing ever." But I'm being paid a lot of money for this, so just ride it out, just go with it.
I had a similar incident. So I played doing a bar gig, and literally this guy was that drunk. He thought the corner of the dance floor was the toilet, and it's this.
Wow!
You kind of watched him go, is he doing what I think he's doing? It's security straight in. I think that was the only time I've ever seen a person removed from that bar gig.
And that just proves that DJing is not all glamour.
No, exactly.
Have any of you ever been had somebody come up to the DJ booth and ask for a drink? Thinking you were the barman.
Yeah.
I've seen videos on that.
I
just remember
the DJ booth, love.
My favourite story. So I played. There's a club in York, and behind the DJ booth is a massive mirror. So I was DJing in the second room. This girl comes up. She's got a balloon sailor suit. I have no idea what was going on. Anyway, so playing away, and she goes, "Oh, where's the toilet?" I went, "Oh, it's back through there. But she didn't go that way. She walked straight into the mirror, face planted, and then fell over. Just going,
oh no.
How did you know that wasn't like a wall?
Fantastic. So, well, gentlemen, we've kind of just run out of time. Just to say, it's been fantastic to chat with you all. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming to Mastermix HQ.
Thank you.
Talk about stuff, and you've had a bit of a tour around the place. So, I want to say, first of all, thank you, Michael Gray.
Thanks, Paul.
Us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Pete the Freq, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Paul.
Greg Packer.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Gentlemen, enjoy the rest of the summer, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye for now.